Call it a coincidence, but I think Caesar and Rad had it out for my old laptop. I mean, the Shadow Dragon LP went into hiatus the chapter before they were introduced, and this one went into hiatus the chapter after they were introduced. I don't know what their deal is, but I really don't appreciate that. So, given the chapter title, it looks like a good old buddy of ours is really moving on up in the world. Before, he was just some jackass that we recruited, now he's got his own chapter, and some pretty good art to boot. We can also see another familiar face here, so I can probably guess who else we'll be recruiting. Now personally, I wish we were recruiting Crouching Guy to the right there. I don't know, he just looks ready for action. I really like his moxie. Alright, so here we have a check, but it's not for any stats. This part's the same no matter what. Jagan here has some self-doubts after the whole thing with Lang, and, well, it's a good thing the Avatar here is here to cheer him up. And again, as far as I know, this one doesn't differ in any way. I mean, you're not Merlin, Jagan, let's not go too far. Anyway, though, this is actually the check for whatever you chose as your present attribute during character creation. Because, of course, I chose Wise for Iris, and he just directly said Wise. Alright, well, we established that. I guess they wanted to use that information somehow, but still, in the long run, that's not the most interesting dialogue. Alright, so, how is everyone? Oh, the healer staff! Okay, so, I actually don't like the translation for this, because the wiki actually gives the name of the staff as the Mediocre Staff, or apparently the literal translation is just a staff, and honestly I prefer either of those. Healer is, well, a really bad staff. It doesn't heal as much as your standard heal staff, and it only has 10 uses, so it's honestly kinda bad. Also, here we have another conversation with Seda, and here's where we learn that the Avatar's not really good at cooking, which normally isn't a trope I really like because it's always executed badly. Because it's like, oh, it's so wacky that the woman doesn't know how to cook, and she fucking lights a town on fire somehow. That being said, though, this one's slightly better because male Avatar is also bad at cooking, but more importantly, this line is actually pretty fantastic. I'm sure you can do it. But when I said I want to make dinner, he'd say, if you must insist, then you must strike me down first. Mackler's a horrible person, but I do love the image of an old man just shouting at his granddaughter about how if she fucking opens a box of Zatarans, she'll have to kill him first. The male Avatar version is actually kinda boring. He's just like, oh, you can't call me grandfather anymore, which, okay, yeah, whatever, threatening to disown your child, whatever. That seems pretty in line with what I already know about Mackler, which seems to be, he's kinda shitty, and he doesn't appear, but I don't like him at all. But at least the kill me so you can make dinner thing is so over the top, it's actually funny. The other thing is, like, this game doesn't pull like the usual, they are extremely bad at cooking in ways that should be impossible. Like, you can be bad at cooking, it's just most anime is so bad at portraying that in a way that feels realistic. It's like Persona 3. You have Fuka, who reads technical manuals and can fucking flavor profile, but it's like, whoop, I mixed up salt and sugar. Like, no, fuck off! Bullshit, I disagree. Fuka would not be that bad at cooking. Stop making that her one wacky character trait. It's stupid. Anyway, I was talking over this conversation, which, to be fair, doesn't get good till now, because we're discovering that Cecil's afraid of ghosts. I guess that's her thing. She doesn't really have that many conversations in this game, and the one with the Avatar is one of the only ones she does have. But yeah, she doesn't really get that much else. She's just very terrified and is now squeezing the life from Iris. So I guess Iris is dead now. Oh well. I kind of liked her, but this is the end. Oh well. Anyway, yeah, you can probably see why I call her Proto-Sully, right? She's kind of like Sully from Awakening, just not as good. This one's kind of nice, though. I never get wounded unless you're watching. It has your name on it! Look! See, it says Ogma! Wait, shit, no, that's Kugma. Damn. Shouldn't have added that line there. So anyway, guess who always tries to make the fucking support conversations canon, and will now give Ogma a vulnerary, even though he already had one? That's right, it's me. I'm the gal who does that. So I'm pretty sure we're about to go to War Council after this, just because I really like to imagine that Iris arrived to the War Council early and Bord was just hanging out, and he just started talking. Like, we kind of started in the middle of this conversation at the, you know, actual start of the mechanical conversation. It was in medias res. But yeah, Iris just walks in and Bord's just like, let me tell you about that Cord guy. I hate him, but damn it, can't let him die. What a pain in the ass. Oh, well, I guess that's it. Da 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 da. Yeah, that sure would suck, especially since, you know, we have no idea where most of the orbs are, and one shattered. It's a good thing Ruin takes a really long time to actually start. Otherwise, we'd all be dead by now, and wouldn't that be a shame? Alright, so, looking around the map, we've got a whole lot of thieves, one of which even has a Star Sphere shard. That guy's got a Wodao, or Wodao? I'm not sure about the pronunciation, it's probably Wodao. And also, here's one of my favorite bosses. We'll see why later. And over here, however, we have a whole lot of heroes, including Astrum, who's wielding Mercurius, one of the 3 Regalia, aka one of the strongest weapons in the continents. Alright, so, here's your hints. Just like with George, we're not going to be able to recruit Astrum just yet. He's very serious and loyal, and of course, we, I was just about to say, we all remember his catchphrase, right? I mean, how could you not? He says it all the time. Should I have learned you'd been false to her? Heads will roll! Laugh track. Oh, that good old Astrum. He's kind of a prick. Alright, so, yeah, let's not fight him. Let's just avoid that. Don't even bother. I'll do anything to protect you, even kill a promoted unit. I can do it. I'll fuck him up. I've tasted blood. I kinda wish that Navarre was red until this conversation started, because apparently this was very much a snap decision. And I do kinda just like the image of, like, they're trying to fool you because Navarre's red again, which, to be fair, I would have fallen for it. I'd be pretty positive that Navarre would start as a thief again. But no, for once he actually joins you at the start of the chapter. This is new for Navarre. I mean, I wouldn't say that. What? How dare you? Fina, you have no taste. Navarre will take a lot of things, but he won't take somebody insulting his style. Poor Fina's gonna have to put up with Navarre's rudeness for now. Then again, they're both pretty rude. Anyway, let's talk about these two. And we finally get Navarre for real this time. So, Navarre, of course, paved the way for the Myrmidon class, and he's more or less a typical Myrmidon. That skill growth rate might look a little lower than what you might be used to with your typical Myrmidon, but considering his starting 16 in skill, there's almost no doubt that he will cap out on skill before promoting. As for the rest of his stats, of course high speed and luck will help him, and his HP is fantastic, meaning while he doesn't have the best defense, he should at least have some HP to soak up some hits. His strength is ever so slightly under ideal, but it's still not terrible. And of course, having a C rank in swords, always a good thing. Navarre's just an overall really good unit. Perhaps not the most interesting one, but he's pretty solid if you like speed-based characters. We also have Fina, who was the first dancer in the series, and is, well, fantastic. Now, her bases aren't amazing. That E rank in swords isn't going to help her unless she uses the Lady Blade. And for the most part, her base stats aren't all that good, with the exception of her speed, which is extremely good. That's some good speed. That's going to cap out quickly. More importantly to note, however, she starts at level 1, meaning she has plenty of time to grow, and look at her fucking growth rates, they're amazing! Like, the only things below 50% don't matter that much. I mean, maybe defense, but considering everything else, I wouldn't expect her to have that high a defense. I mean, she's gotta have some weakness, right? She's OP enough as is. She's also got a movement of 6, which, you know, isn't anything amazing. She's certainly not a cavalier, but it's also not archer horrible, so, like, she can get around to battlefields pretty quickly, and even if she wasn't good at fighting, her main ability is to dance, which gives another character a second turn after they've moved during a round, which is extremely good and helpful. Fina, of course, is the only dancer in the game, and nobody can class change into a dancer, so do be wary of Fina dying, because if you lose her, you lose a very valuable unit. That being said, though, provided you can get her some levels, I don't think you have to worry about her dying that much, huh? She's kinda good, isn't she? Alright, so let's get ourselves an Iron Sword, because my luck at this point is never really all that good. 28%'s a really good crit chance, but I don't know. Anytime I play this chapter, I rarely get critical hits, and just quite frankly, I'd prefer not to waste a perfectly good Killing Edge, because Killing Edges are pretty good. Not to say that they're the most valuable swords on the planet, you can find or buy some later, but, you know, I'd prefer not to waste it. Especially since I don't want to just be buying stuff haphazardly, and ooh, that's a good level. Alright, so, anyway, quick note about, Lunatic mode. Now, just like with, George, in this mode, you can approach Astrum and the other heroes, and as long as you don't attack them, they won't attack you. However, on Lunatic, if you enter their range, they will follow you, so don't do that. More importantly, however, this chapter actually seems like it'd be really difficult on Lunatic. One of my prime strategies is to send Pegasus Knights in to just mop up the thieves, because Navarre does an alright job, but Pegasus Knights would do better, so, you know, when I get here for the Victoria run, I'm going to sweep the floor with this chapter. That being said, however, there are 3 hunters on Lunatic, and they're all at pretty good locations. Like, There's one just in the middle of the forest. You should probably take care of him first with Navarre. There's one right at the edge, and then there's one a little farther out. Not by much. Enough where you'd be in a lot of trouble if you don't position yourselves correctly. Though you could probably dance Pegasus Knight over to them. I'd say that's probably the best idea. Kill one with Navarre, have some Pegasus Knights on the outskirts of the hunter's range, and then on the next turn, if you can, kill one, dance, kill the other. That's probably your best shot. Other than that, though, Navarre will take a bit of chip damage, so do be wary of him. Of course, that being said, he does have the killing edge, so if you're lucky, you might be able to take care of these thieves without getting chip damage too much, in which case, that would be ideal. Of course, you can also trade for that vulnerary if need be. The thieves don't usually aggro on you, though. That's part of the problem. You're going to want to kill all of them that you can, just because if you don't, you're missing out on some items, including a Star Sphere Shard, and you absolutely do not want to miss that. Because if you miss it, well, remember the whole ruin thing? Irreversible ruin or whatever that is? Yeah, you don't want that, right? We all hate ruin. So yeah, anyway, just be careful of that. Kill that dude, you can technically leave the rest to go, but like, why would you? That being said, we do have a Star Sphere Shard to collect, but I do kind of want to get on the main topic of this episode. I hope they get cursed or something. I don't know how I transitioned into it last time, but I know I'm still keeping it as a subject. Ooh, though before I bring that up, this lady's going to bring up a fire dragon. So the cave over here, do not progress past that square of trees you see right there. If you do that before you're prepared for the theoretical dragon that... Okay, let's be honest, we know there's a dragon. An NPC brought it up, there's going to be a dragon. We all know this. I'm not going to play coy about this. But anyway, yeah, do be wary about activating the dragon if you're not ready for him. But we'll get to him later. For the time being, though, unless I have some other strategy to bring up, which I'm not bringing that up yet, but I am going to talk about Astrum. Hey sir, do you want us to take care of the Ultian army? No. We will be the ones to stop the Ultian army by doing nothing. Astrum has clearly been watching too many Mario Party videos, I guess. But anyway, yeah, there's, I guess, the central gimmick of this chapter other than the thieves. It's the fact that there are a whole lot of reinforcements, which we'll talk about in just a moment. We just killed the important thief. Get ready for an unexpected trip when you fall screaming from an open window. Work a little bit harder on improving your low self-esteem, you stupid freak. Alright, so, now that we have all of the dialogue of this chapter out of the way, and we killed the Scorpio dude, now we can finally speed up the video, which is good, because we're getting to the slow part, because we got a whole lot of reinforcements to take care of. Of course, it's Knights and Cavaliers, meaning they're going to stagger pretty frequently, which basically means, you know, Knights have very low movement, and therefore they won't reach you that quickly. Cavaliers have high movement. They'll reach you first. However, when there's more than one set of reinforcements, chances are you're gonna be hit by some really weird waves of enemies, so do be careful on how you attack and defend, especially since you can't go past that line of trees, otherwise you activate a dragon. Alright, now we can finally get to the central topic of this episode. Again, don't remember how I transitioned to it in the last version of this LP, but I know how I'm going to now. I'm just gonna say it. We're talking about how hot Navarre is and how much that sucks, because he's a fucker and I hate him. But also, like, to be fair, he is pretty hot. Oddly enough, there is just a lot of art of Navarre, and it's all really good. Unlike certain characters who might have a little bit of art and not all of it being the best. And honestly, to be fair, his Shadow Dragon and New Mystery of the Emblem official art is okay. Honestly, I kind of like his Mystery of the Emblem art better. It's actually not half bad. He looks kind of cute in that one. His Heroes art is also pretty good. And, honestly, his voice is also really good. And I swear I'm not opening up Fire Emblem Heroes just to fucking check his voice, and that's not Fire Emblem Heroes being very loud, that's your imagination. I absolutely know everything I'm going to talk about, including voice actors, because I'm so good at memorizing names. Okay, so, Fire Emblem Heroes credits T. Axelrod as his voice actor, and, let me tell ya, it's pretty good. Anyway, shutting that off for now. So yeah, voice actor, really good. I don't think they kept him for Fire Emblem Warriors. He doesn't really have that many speaking lines, and honestly, I could not really give a damn about him in Heroes, or Warriors, sorry. He is such a non-entity, especially since apparently he's going to be DLC. Not really the most interesting DLC, if you ask me, but yeah, it's just my opinion. Anyway though, yeah, good official art. I'm looking at his clothes being torn off. Tokyo Mirage Sessions maybe a little less. I don't know what the fuck is going on with his arms there. He should be a DLC character for arms as well, I guess. But anyway, yeah, oh, there's this art that's... Oh yeah, that actually is the anime. Oh, Future Me's gonna have to do a lot of work for this, but I actually kind of like his hair there. I hope Future Me remembers which ones I'm referring to, otherwise this is gonna be very confusing. Ooh, his cipher art's really good, though. Dang. He looks smug as fuck, which doesn't quite fit him. And this isn't loading, but it didn't look like that good of an art anyway. Oh, yeah. To be fair, it's an interesting art style. Not the hottest Navarre, though. Let's see, I think that's just more cipher art. Actually, so we've got this picture. Again, hopefully I remember what I'm referring to. That's not that bad, not one of my favorite bits. This one's pretty good, though. It's pretty hot there. And this one, dang. Navarre's really pretty in this one. I like that cipher art. It's a good thing these aren't out in the States, because on one hand, it would be good because I would like a Fire Emblem card game. On the other hand, it would be bad because I would definitely buy a Fire Emblem card game. I'm not usually that bad about, like, collecting type stuff. You know, I never really got into any sort of collectible card game, but a Fire Emblem one would be far too tempting. And quite frankly, it's very rude. Both that it exists and that we don't have it, for completely different reasons. Anyway, it's a good thing that those heroes aren't moving, because, that just means I have a great strategy to kill off the mages, because mages can be troublesome. Unless they decide to aggro on Seda and march to their deaths, which they're doing. They're doing that quite frequently. But again, yeah, just the way the enemies stagger in this chapter, it's actually a really good thing I'm taking care of the mages, just because... Whoa, boy. This one can be pretty tricky because, again, the dragon. Though, if you're playing Lunatic, you have even less room to move around without the forests. Which, the forests do make good defense, but unfortunately, there are so many wooded areas that the enemy would also probably benefit from them. And goddamn, that guy's cheeky. He's trying to, draw me out to a dragon range. How rude. But, yeah, anyway, that is a problem that can come up. If you try to use forests, there's also a good possibility the enemy will as well, so... You kinda have equal footing no matter what, unless you get some really good positioning in, and ooh, very nice, I capped out on speed. Oh, have I mentioned yet that the speed cap pre-promotion is 20 for all stats except HP? I might not have. It's kinda like Thracia, I believe, in which all stats cap at 20. I'm not really fond of that. I do prefer, like, Awakenings and whatnot, in which stat caps vary from character to character. Technically, Action Awakening, they vary by class, but, like, each character has a modifier, so you have a certain base of stat caps, but then, like, person A is good at speed, therefore they get, like, a +2 speed cap or whatever. Anyway, yeah, that's what I prefer. Here, though, yeah, it's still by class, it's just all classes cap at 20. And then, on promotion, they cap usually not too far away from 20, to be completely honest. I don't know any numbers off the top of my head. It's usually, like, probably about 30s max, actually. Honestly, like, a promoted cap being mid-20s isn't that, like, uncommon or bad? Which is really weird because, like, I never really paid attention to those sorts of numbers until Awakening or Fates, in which case the stat caps are much higher. Like, 30s is a little more common, 20s is for, like, bad stats. Anyway, though, we kinda pissed off a dragon. Now, that being said, the one good thing is, his range isn't actually quite within, like, the activation box for, him actually arriving, so even if you're playing on Lunatic and he can, well, I assume, move immediately, he won't actually be in aggro range unless you put a character like where Seda is right now, and as you can see, that dragon did a fuck ton of damage. Dragons are very strong opponents, and honestly, we're still early in the game to really be messing with them like I am now. Obviously, there's only one here, and he's completely beatable, but it takes quite a bit to surmount him, and again, he does a lot of damage. That being said, though, there is actually sort of this old attribute for dragons that I believe was the norm in the older games, and a hard mode difference in this game. And that's the fact that, in hard mode, dragons actually have a range of 1 to 2. So, yeah, they can attack from a distance or up close, and honestly, I believe I've mentioned there is one difficulty difference that I'm actually interested in, and that's one of them. I'm honestly really interested in, like, how dragons having a range of 2 changes up your strategy, because you still kinda have to tank them, and you can still tank them in the same way, you just can't counter them unless, you know, you're using mages or you have a javelin or stuff like that. So it does sound like it'd actually be a bit more tricky without going overboard, which I've said it time and time again, and I will say it again. I don't like enemy reinforcements moving immediately, but like most other gimmicks I actually do like, with the exception of, like, anything Radiant Dawn does, because holy fuck, that game fucking sucks in terms of hard mode. Holy shit, there are so many bad ideas in Radiant Dawn's hard mode. Hey, do you not want to see enemy ranges? No, that sounds stupid and it makes things more tedious. Well, guess what? You can't see enemy ranges if you play hard mode. Oh, well, fuck you too. Anyway, so Dull here I love because he tries to play the actually you're the real monster card, and like, what the fuck? He's got a lot of fucking nerve doing that. Hey, we just fucking pilfered the Sacred Fane, but actually, you're the real villains. We're just stealing, but you killed me, what the fuck? This is completely unfair. I'm Dull. I mean, if nothing else, he has his own philosophies and priorities, and he doesn't seem to break them. He seems to be quite straightforward, even though, his logic is a little off. Alright, so that's the map. Ah, damn, it got hit by a Grench. Those damn millennials pilfering the Fane of Ramen, stealing holy objects. Millennials can't afford to buy steel swords anymore, because they keep buying avocado toast. Ooh boy, humans sure were in the right. Dragons sure do suck. Also, I love the wording, gigantic warrior. They sent a big warrior. a large person to just fucking take care of the dragons. Well, I mean, I already spoiled it at the end of the Shadow Dragon run just a little bit. You know, probably awkwardly considering it was me a few years ago, but, hashtag NagasNB actually can't fucking convince me otherwise. We haven't a moment to waste? I disagree, actually, 'cause it's hat time, baby! Yep, time to talk about hats. Gotta have a nice hat. Get across the bridge? Whatever. Real important conversation with Wendell here, which... Now I realize this was actually the cliffhanger I left everyone on last time I did this LP. What could Iris's next hat be? How good is it? Find out on the next exciting episode of Fire Emblem New Mystery of the Emblem. Also, that's some stellar logic there, Iris. Good work. Well, I guess now that that's done, I can go back into the voices then. Haven't heard these in a while. Yeah. So growly. Alright, I think I've heard everything. What about the rest of the hot idiots? Do nothing but war. Oh my god, I just like to imagine Camus just fucking clenches his fist and closes his eyes when he says that. I noticed. But the loneliest. God. Oh my god, McCallus. Sorry, I have to. Oh my god. Oh god, David Vincent, you do such a good job. Holy shit, what a fucking nerd. Sorry, McCallus. Nope. Well, sorry guys, but I have to cancel the LP again. It's gotten too horny.